Welcome back, traders. Welcome to the calm before the storm on AMC and GME, guys. And what I am taking as a theory on crypto being the broader rotation of risk on assets, right? So you can see here very, very clearly in the last year within this bull pennant that GME's been in, every single time you've seen Dogecoin run up to a new high, you've seen GameStop shortly after run to a new high as well. So you saw this top back in December 6th. You saw the GME top back on January 7th, almost a month. You made a higher high here retrospectively. On May 13th, you made a higher high on GME. May 28th, you made a higher high on Doge. July 21st. And now you are waiting, in my honest opinion, for a higher high on GME and a breakout of this macro pennant that you've been in, somewhere in this range here, guys. It's followed pretty much perfectly. I'm not that guy when it comes to like not chart patterns, but like fractal patterns. That's not what this is at all. This is money, big money, particularly rotating into risk on assets, and how typically Dogecoin predicts when that begins to happen, right? So you have a nice size delay here on GameStop, but I do believe within the month here of August, you're going to see a breakout and a follow through comparatively that Dogecoin just had. Doge had a 100% move. 100% move on GameStop takes you above this breakout. Let's go back to Webull here. 100% move on GameStop takes you above the breakout previously at 37.49. So if you're going to make a new higher high, you have to get above 37.49. And for me, that is very, very doable here, guys. I say the calm before the storm because I do believe, whoops, I just messed that price target up. I do believe that as soon as crypto bounces here with Bitcoin in the tightest Bollinger Bands on the daily time frame, shout out Cantonese Cat for shouting that out and for showing me that that is a very real thing right now, that something explosive is going to happen, whether it's up or down. Last time you were this tight on the Bollinger Bands was right before this sharp drop from 100K down to 78. And then also this sharp move up from 71 up to 109, right? So typically when the Bollinger Bands are this tight, it implies volatility. And for me, there is enough happening within this chart to believe that it is going to absolutely make a new all-time high, in my opinion. And what that means is I also think you're going to do the same thing on GameStop. I think you're going to break out, fill the gap, make a new higher high, make a new higher low, and then some kind of catalyst would come out. Whether it's Roaring Kitty, whether it's what they're doing with all their cash on hand, something absolutely diabolical is gearing here for GameStop. And I do believe that you will fill from this bull pennant. I believe you're going to fill that $70 gap fill on GameStop. That for me is the price target that I have been looking at. And you made that gap back here in, when was that? 2021, June. That is the only price gap besides for the one you made recently. And GameStop is notorious for filling its price gaps. So I would expect this thing to make a swift move down here. Maybe it's AMC earnings, right? In which it would tap this trend one more time. And maybe this is the bottom. Who knows, right? I certainly don't. To tap that trend one more time and then to V-shape off of it with volume. And I say that this is the calm before the storm because when that happens, retail is going to FOMO like crazy. It's going to be insane, and you should see some nice volume pop off of this. What I'd like to see to confirm this is I'd like to see on the weekly this MACD begin to curl up. Now, if we get that curl up on the MACD at the same time that you break out of this bull pennant, you're going to see GameStop do something that it has not done since back here. It's going to be absolutely insane. And I'm very shocked because this formation looks so much better than what you had back here. So I'm very shocked that it is as silent from a retail side and even from a Roaring Kitty side as it is right now, which for me is also another indicator. No one's talking about this. And typically when no one's looking, that's when the movement happens, right? That's when the squeezes happen. So we really only have until September in this pennant. So I'm very excited to see what happens, guys. It's going to be quite the journey. AMC is in a very similar situation. So if GameStop goes up, if AMC has good earnings here, you could see AMC follow and begin to look towards these gap fills at 12, 19. 43. That gap fill you can even see on the weekly time frame. It's absurd. I don't know if I've ever seen that where a gap fill is just there on the weekly time frame. So let's go to the daily. Actually, let's go to the 4 hour because we spoke about in our last video the opportunity that you had on the 4 hour back here about to cross. And so since the 4 hour has crossed, you made a bottom and you are now holding this trend line. It's go time for AMC here. Truly, like you need to see this thing V-shape out and then retest the bottom of this at 350. If you can successfully reclaim that, that would be absurd. That's the bullish case. That would be the most bullish case. But just staying within this chop range going into earnings would be bullish enough. So regardless, I'm happy with what AMC did. And I picked up more shares down here, 800 more shares, not financial advice. That's just what I did. And I would be glad to pick up more down here. But onto the daily, like we talked about. If GameStop does what we think it'll do, if Dogecoin does what we think it'll do, if Bitcoin does what we think it'll do, and money flows back into these risk-on assets, I would also expect AMC to do what we think it's going to do, get above what is now the 200-day EMA sitting at $3.82, guys. Oh my goodness. I'm excited about that because the 200-day EMA being only at $3.87 gives you immense capability of breaking over that for the first time. You touched it and rejected here in 2023. Touch and reject. First time closing above it on a daily candle since 2022, guys. And every time you've gone into it, just very, very volatile price action. Like, let's just do a little measurement here. Every time you've gone in to test the 200-day EMA, 94%. 55%. This one's also crazy. 174%. 174%. And so I wouldn't rule out anything like this where you have the double bottom formation. It looks very, very similar to what we have going here. But this is more of a macro chart pattern where you have that double bottom formation and then you want to see a break and a close above. I wouldn't be surprised to see it retest and then go higher. But what's so important for me is you need to reclaim this 50-day EMA. Because if you reclaim it eventually and hold it, eventually you will get a daily golden cross. And that is the goal. The goal is the daily golden cross, because pretty much every single altcoin in the cryptocurrency market has just had their golden cross and retested it. What that means is higher price action typically. And the only time you've done that on AMC was you absolutely ran back in January, right? And this is what I'm comparing us to. We're very much in a January situation where you could see AMC go for these gap fills and make an 1,000% move. You get the golden cross and then you retest it. And that is what altcoins are doing right now. Get the explosive move, you retest it, and then the rest is history. You made a bull pennant just like GME's in, and you made an all-time high on AMC. Now, I'm not calling for an all-time high on AMC. That would be insane. But I'm calling for something that would rhyme with previous price action. History does not repeat, it often rhymes. And I think it is about time for it to start rhyming here. If you did make that complete move to 43, just to give you guys reference, that is a 1,332% move. That's a move larger than what we got in the January squeeze. That would be absurd. I'm not taking it off the table though, guys. It's completely in the cards. But I would target each gap fill as a price target. But we will see. We will see with AMC earnings what this thing wants to do, whether or not we're revisiting this $250 triple bottom here. I'd like to see this hold personally. Because if you hold, you will break this uptrend and you will test the 200-day EMA for the first time since this squeeze. So. Just some TA on Doge. I know we talked about the correlation between GameStop, risk on assets, and Dogecoin. The absolutely beautiful touch that you got here on Doge. You quite literally tapped the 200-day EMA from the golden cross. You finished with a hanging man candle, which is not great, right? But that wick off of it, for me, confirms that you have tested this thing and you are now looking to make a higher high on Doge. If you make that higher high, I expect GameStop and AMC to also make their higher high. Not financial advice, guys. Thank you for tuning in. It's been Trap Trades. God bless and enjoy the rest of your day. Please, please, please continue this momentum that we've had. We're at 61 subscribers. If you found value in this, join the crew and get aboard, because we're going to continue to cover this every single day until it makes a nasty move. So God bless, guys. Thank you for tuning in, and peace. No, seriously, subscribe. Peace.